Coaching can be a tough job and requires much more than knowing the X's and O's of the game. This Coach Beyond session will introduce you to helpful strategies for mastering your role as a coach. We know that you are already experts of the game. So, here we will talk about how to build quality coach athlete relationships and how to foster motivation and commitment among your team. Let's start with how to build coach athlete relationships. When coaches have strong relationships with athletes, they're more likely to get the most out of their team. And having a relationship with one caring adult is one of the biggest protective factors for youth athletes. So, why not be that coach? Think about examples of coach athlete relationships you have seen in the media, like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Tom is known to credit some of his success to his relationship with Coach Belichick. Or a great example of a critical coach athlete relationship off the field is Tony Dungy and Michael Vick. When Michael Vick made off-field mistakes that landed him in prison, Tony Dungy visited him and quickly became a mentor, role model, and guide, even though Coach Dungy coached a different NFL team. The support of Coach Dungy changed the trajectory of Michael Vick's life, and he has rebounded into a coaching career himself. So, what does it look like for coaches to build strong relationships with their athletes? The foundation of relationships is quality time. But this needs to be more than simply being on a team or in the same room as someone. You can maximize the value of time spent with your team by checking in on each athlete individually. This could be through a warm-up question that you ask to the team when each person enters the practice space. When you do these check-ins, it's important to learn about your team's lives outside of sport. You can start conversations with, "Tell me one good thing that happened during your day today." Or, "Talk to me about your week," to spark discussion on more than just your sport. Solid coach athlete relationships also have shared goals and interests. To create shared goals, as a coach, be sure to include athlete voice in the goals you create for the team. Instead of telling the team the goals you have for them in a season, host a team goal setting session where all players can share out what they hope the team accomplishes. This will help the team goals align with the interests of the group, not just you. And finally, all relationships require trust to flourish. In order to establish trust with your athletes, follow through on your commitments and expectations set for the team. This means if you expect the players to arrive 15 minutes early for practice, so do you. Or if you say you are going to create a new drill, prioritize getting it done. Even more importantly, if you do make a mistake, like losing your cool when an athlete performs poorly, apologize and own it. Not only does this model good behavior for your athletes, but can build trust that if you do not meet your own expectations, you will acknowledge it. Building relationships matters to keep athletes motivated for training, but coaches also can do more to keep players on their teams motivated and committed. There are 4 strategies that you can use. Let's talk about them. First is helping athletes feel like they are improving, mastering skills, and are competent in their sport. They should feel as if they can say, "I'm skilled, knowledgeable, and able to accomplish the tasks required of me and my team." Fostering feelings of competence revolves around striking the right balance between challenge, skill, anxiety, and boredom. This would be intentionally designing drills and practice that are accomplishable, instead of always working on a skill that is difficult for the team. Set up situations for athletes to put forth effort, master skills, and feel great once the hard work pays off. It also means providing quality instruction and cues to guide skill development and feedback when an athlete does perform well. This promotes feelings of competence. Creating a sense of belonging is another key need for all athletes to be motivated. This means building strong connections with you and the rest of the athletes on the team. We already talked about relationships between coaches and athletes. However, creating a sense of belonging for your athletes amongst their peers is key to their success and enjoyment in sport. You can do this by making sure everyone knows each other's names early in the season and prioritizing opportunities for social connection during practice. At Coach Beyond, we love the game "I'm a Buckeye, You're a Buckeye," where one player stands in the center of a circle and says something about themselves that is true, like, "I have 2 siblings." If it is also true for the other players around the circle, then they have to move and find a new seat or space, like musical chairs. And the person in the center is trying to take one too. Whoever does not get a seat or a space is the next person in the middle, and so on. This is one example activity of how you can create opportunities to build connection and belonging on your team. Athletes also have shared that having team nicknames and being a part of traditions helps them feel connected and identify as a part of the group. In order to be intrinsically motivated in sport, your team also needs to feel they have a sense of choice or autonomy. This might look like providing opportunities for athletes to serve as leaders on the team or have a say in how practices are structured. You could also include athletes in decision making, like plays to call and incorporating their ideas. In addition to competence, belonging, and autonomy, providing novelty and excitement to your program is a great way to increase engagement and positive team environments. Are there opportunities for you to allow your team to experience something new? Maybe on a low impact practice, introduce an entirely new game unrelated to your sport. Or if you notice your team getting bored of the same practice structure, switch it up. It is also imperative to note that basic needs must be met first, especially for athletes living in poverty or vulnerable situations at home. Not having enough fuel through food, quality sleep, or clean clothes limits their opportunities for success in sport and beyond. So, if you notice an athlete seeming unmotivated, underperforming, or acting out at practice, ask yourself, is the behavior that I see a result of a basic need not being met? This may change how you respond to that athlete. Is there a way to help meet their needs? Whether addressing psychological or basic needs, small actions add up to creating a positive and thriving team environment. So let's review. Building strong relationships with athletes takes quality time, shared goals and interests, and trust. In order to motivate your athletes, you should find opportunities to build feelings of competence, belonging, autonomy, and novelty in your program. Also, be sure to check that basic needs are being met too. We cannot wait to see you on the field, court, or mat using these strategies and coaching beyond the X's and O's. For more tools, check out go.osu.edu/coachbeyond or email us at coachbeyond@osu.edu. Also, check out the marketplace for more Coach Beyond content.